Please welcome Aurora James to the Tam Fam.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Tamron. How's it going?
It's going great, even better, and I'm talking to you. The whole intention of this show, I have to tell you, I've thought a lot about you when we were thinking of what do we want to accomplish with this hour? A mission that seems impossible, but you take on the task. I want the audience to go back with us to George Floyd's death. It weighed heavy on the hearts of everyone, or hopefully everyone. But you
Mhm.
said this can't just be a moment that breaks our heart. This has to be a moment that inspires change. And you came up with the 15% pledge. In your original Instagram post, you tagged some of the country's major retailers and you said, this is the least you can do for us. We represent 15% of the population and we need to represent 15% of your shelf space. When you hit send on that, Aurora, did you think there's no way? Or did you have hope?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I was definitely hopeful, but more than hopeful, was terrified. It's scary to put yourself out there, right? And for me, as a designer, I worked with a lot of these major retailers across the country. So, really tagging them and kind of demanding that they do something more than just make kind of a one time donation was a little bit risky, but ultimately, when you have a seat at the table, you're best off making an ask. And so that was my ask.
Which is amazing because here you were already successful. I mean, you've got the ear of everyone. People are waiting to see what you do next in the space of creating fashion. But you felt at some point, my what's next is not necessarily the shoe that you wear. My what's next is what's going to make a change in the industry.
Yeah. It was such a tough period of time, Tamron. Like everyone was really overwhelmed, people were in pain. And I think what was so hard with the murder of George Floyd was that people felt hopeless.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of at home, right? Quarantining. You remember those days. And I think the pledge really was able to put data behind a largely emotional problem, right? And
Yeah.
for a lot of major retailers and major corporations, if they can't track it, they can't do it, right? And
Yeah.
so creating that opportunity for us to say, okay, look, most retailers across this country are below 1% right now. You guys should do what you do best, which is finding the best product in this country and letting your customers know about
Yeah.
it and having them rejoice about it and make sure that you're including black people in that proposition.
Well, one of the things that you said, which is so key to this, is the best products. You are not saying, and nor has anyone ever said, I believe that I know, let me in the room just because I'm black or brown, let me in the room just because I'm a woman. You say, give me a fair shot like anyone else, which is what's so key here, because the other point that you make is because it is a black designer or a product made by someone of color, does not mean that that product is only for people who are black or only for people of color. I am a black host of a talk show. My talk show is about talking to people. Of course, it is not just for Black people, but I'm true to my culture and true to who I am. And that's a part of helping these businesses and designers like yourself succeed. The notion that you are Black and so only Black people buy your product is also what you are refuting.
Absolutely. I think there's so many misconceptions about that, right? When I think of my own brand, Brother Vellies, I launched it with $3,500 at the flea market in the Lower East Side, Tamron. And, the people who buy and wear and love Brother Vellies and who always have come from all across this country and look completely differently and now all around the world. And, the fact that I'm a person of color really has nothing to do with, other women's ability to enjoy
Yeah.
that product.
I love it because to your point, when I wore your shoes on the show that day, people in the comments, white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever, there wasn't a type of person that didn't ask about those shoes.
Right.
And no one said, oh, well, you know what? It's a black designer. So Tamara and I'm white and I can't wear that. Of course not. They said, those shoes are fire. Where did you get them from? I'd like to wear those shoes. And that's the
Right.
response that you want from any of these businesses that you back. I'm curious because, as I said, you set out on this mission. It seemed impossible. And then suddenly, big companies responded.
Absolutely. So I posted on a Saturday, and by Monday morning, we had launched a petition. By Thursday, I think we had 100,000 people that have signed up for the petition, and we're already a nonprofit. And by day 10, Sephora became the first major retailer to commit to the 15% pledge. And since then, we've announced, I think, 29 of some of the biggest companies in America. And they all signed contracts with us, and it's a true partnership. Nordstrom signed a 10-year contract, Tamron. So we're working with them and checking in every 3 months, seeing how their progress is going, making recommendations to them of Black-owned businesses that make sense to scale into their shelf space. Everything from towels to
Yeah.
jeans.
I love it. You know what? You set out on the mission. Some thought it was impossible, and look where it is now.